miss it.
Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends. I just want to make money. Because my job is not just to entertain you, but to educate you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC. Actually, you know what? Yesterday, broke the rules. Actually made some friends to spite myself. The Mad Money Back to School Tour made its 8th stop. We were with the Hoosiers of Indiana University. And let me tell you, those kids impressed Cramer with both their energy and their business savvy. And speaking of impressive, IU's coolest alum, maybe richest, Mark Cuban stopped by, and the guy kicked off the interview by nailing a jump shot. How often you see that on CNBC? I'm constantly amazed by how wired into the markets kids are these days. Thanks to the Today Show also, they presented that. It is a phenomenon. That's why when I go on tour, I like to spend time with the students and not just the co-eds, who are obviously completely infatuated with this 63-year-old, or men like me. All right. These students are savvy. They're ready. And they often know about stocks that fly under Wall Street's radar. I like to talk to the students. And then to be completely honest about it, just like in college, I like to plagiarize their work. Few students are as deserving of my plagiarism as Dan from the Kelley School of Business's Reese Fund. These students pitch stocks to the pros. They know a lot. They come to play. Take a look at what Dan pitched to me.
Whatever you do tonight, remember this ticker symbol. It's money in the bank. SPAR, Spartan Motor. I'm giving you something that's going to blow your hair back. Listen to this.
What? Hey, you're going to send me back in time, too, my friend.
Chip.
It's not easy, you know. I think I got to do a little haircut right. Oh, hey. Oh, excuse me. I thought it wasn't done. Spartan. S-P-A-R. I didn't like the stock. Hey. Despite being a Springfield Spartan class of 73. And the street didn't know about it. It's only covered by 3 tiny boutique firms. No big shot analyst coverage. I'll be honest. Frankly, I thought this one was barely worth my attention. One of those sleep-inducing stocks, Lunesta, Sepulcre. I thought Spartan, even after seeing 300, was levered to municipalities. They make a chassis for fire trucks and emergency vehicles. That's chassis. Nothing to get excited about. They're levered to RVs. But when you're worried about gas prices, who wants to buy an RV? They're levered to Iraq. They make the underbelly for the armored military vehicle. Iraq's a battleground, not just in the traditional sense, in the stock market sense, as in there's a lot of contention over whether or not Iraq works as an investment. I'm already waging war myself, not just with myself, but with the shorts over Cerdine, a body armor play. But far be it from me, I'm even starting to get worried about the Bolsheviks in Congress offering the people bread, peace, and land. We're afraid that these guys want to cut and run. Wait a second, I forgot my elder statesman role in the mold of Gandhi. If more like Gandhi 2 from the brilliant Weird Al vehicle, UHF, than the original. As an ambassador of goodwill, like the fabulous, swift-boating Bush appointee, what I meant to say was that I'm a little worried about the Democrats and maybe they prudently recommend a pullback of our troops out of Iraq. That's what I thought about Spartan. But then I did some homework. My new best buddy pal friend Dan was right about Spartan. And I was wrong. And now my delicate remaining hairs are indeed being blown back. SPAR, S-P-A-R, is a buy. It's an idea totally worth stealing. Although you probably want to wait for a pullback before you do this. And if you're not into speculation, I need to warn you. SPAR is a small cap stock that might not fit your risk profile. But let me tell you why Cramer likes Spartan and thinks you might too. Oh, by the way, he also likes Go Tell the Spartans, a very underrated and overlooked Burt Lancaster movie. The company does 2 things. It makes all kinds of chassis, and it makes emergency vehicles. I didn't think the emergency vehicles play was any good at all. And then I looked at the data. Then I saw nationwide, we've got an aging fleet of these things. 54% of them are 15 years old. A third are over 20 years old. You don't want your ambulance breaking down because it's just too darn old. You don't want the fire engine transmission shot. These are old emergency vehicles, and they're a huge safety concern. I may not like stocks in general that are levered to municipalities, but Spartan is levered to their liabilities. The one surefire way to get money out of local government is by selling them a product that prevents lawsuits. Enter Spartan. Then there's this chassis business, which I'm liking. Let me tell you why I'm liking. I'm liking it for the military end of things. Even if you believe that we're out of Iraq by 2008, which frankly seems preposterous to me, even with the Bolshevik threat, Spartan works. You look over the new Pentagon budget, and you'll see that the big winners are companies levered to what are called mine-resistant, ambush-protected MRAP vehicles. Spartan is one of those companies. It's at the epicenter of MRAP. Everybody knows that our guys have been woefully unprepared to deal with the roadside bombs, the improvised explosive devices. But now the military finally is spending a lot of money to protect our soldiers from this stuff, and nobody in Congress wants to block that kind of spending, at least not in public. You've seen the pictures, you've read the stories about soldiers having to harden their own Humvees with their parents paying for the extra armor. It's an embarrassment for the higher-ups, and they don't like to be embarrassed. Thanks to Donnie Rumsfeld, who, by the way, in my book, Donnie, you're second only to Brownie, who also did a heck of a job. Enter the Cougar, which Spartan makes the chassis for. I like this chassis thing I'm doing. This thing is covered with ½ an inch of steel plate, and it's proving resistant to roadside bombs. No fatalities yet in a Cougar. The Spartans may have held out at Thermopylae, which I mention only to show that I'm a really smart Harvard guy. If they'd had a couple of these in addition to the 300 guys who really seem to dig homoeroticism, at least in a movie. Okay, who says we shouldn't let gays in the military? Whoa! Okay, the Cougar is a must. Off the reservation tonight. But, you know, IU had a good time. All right, under the MRAP program, Spartan's recently gotten 2 huge orders. One on January 23rd, one just a month ago on March 6th, for $23.4 million and $16.4 million, respectively. Hey, even after that, these are orders from 2 big defense contractors. They only have 3% of the potential orders, 3%. This isn't like Ceradyne, where the bears all say that they're full, okay, that the military has them all. I think protecting our troops from roadside bombs is a great business for SPAR. It's the reason its military division has the most growth. By the way, if I were a defense contractor, this is a natural acquisition for me. Because anybody who assembles the finished products probably wants this product too. Stock gapped up on the most recent order, but I don't think it's coming in because the estimates keep rising. Estimates go up, stocks go up. Last but not least, there's the RV business, which I was also wrong to dislike. It turns out it's in a secular growth mode. Dan knew this. I'm at a loss to explain why. Baby boomers like these things, and they make up 1/4 of the population. Do you know 1 out of every 12 boomers has an RV? And we can't forget the elderly have tons of money. And they'd rather spend it on an RV than spend it on one of those fancy, schmancy, expensive hotel rooms. I know it's a great vehicle for teaching a man to fish, if not to shop for fish at Whole Foods. But beyond that, I must be missing out on something. You'd figure, as a 63-year-old, it's about time for me to get behind the wheel of an Airstream. Spartan makes the chassis for the top manufacturers, and I'll admit this could be a good thing. But even if it's not, I don't see a lot of downside from the RV segment. You know these things because they lost their arrangement with Fleetwood and the stock barely skipped a beat. Spartan's been doing really well. Net income up 102% last year. They blew away the numbers last quarter. Balance sheet, superb. Any stock that trades at 18 times forward earnings, that's growing at 35% clip, looks pretty good from where I'm standing, or here too. Bottom line, Dan did some quality work on a quality stock. He's at a quality business school with a wired contingent of traders and investors. I'm going with Dan from the Reese Fund. I'm going with IU. And I'm going with Spartan. Now you go with Cramer.